Quick, where does the biblical figure of Satan actually live? My name's Ken. I'm a full-time missionary. It's been abroad for 5 years. Also a researcher and teacher that seriously digs history, especially religious history. And I teach classes online too. You should check them out in my profile. But where does Satan make his humble abode? We have plenty of images and media portrayals, right? Satan as the overlord of hell, smelling of fire and brimstone with devious torches designed to torment the damned. Or have you ever been exposed to one of those indoctrination skits that fundamentalist churches put on around Halloween, like Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames, designed to terrify you into professing Christ as Lord and Savior, to spare you from an eternity of being gleefully roasted by Satan and his evil cohorts? Scary stuff. And fear of torment does prove to be a much more potent driver of emotional response than, say, love. But I want you to take a minute and find me a Bible verse that backs any of those ideas up. In fact, I want you to find me a Bible verse that says that Satan, right now, is in the realm of hell, torturing others. Just put this on pause, look in your Bible, or do a quick internet search and find one. What's that? The closest you could find was a mention of a few sinful angels bound in chains of darkness until judgment in 2 Peter 2:4 and Jude 1:6, and references as to what would happen to the figure of Satan at the end of days in Revelation. But do those verses depict Satan as the Mac Daddy of hell, aka Sheol, Hades, Gehenna, or Tartarus? You know, for a guy that we've been indoctrinated to think is the king of hell, the Bible doesn't say a single thing about him or his cohorts having any dominion there. In fact, and hold on to your seats here, the whole idea of a person being met at the gates of the afterlife by Satan and sentenced to an eternity of tortures, it's not a biblical concept, but it is firmly rooted in Mediterranean and Near East pagan religions and medieval and Renaissance philosophy. In fact, scriptural evidence of Satan residing in a traditional concept of hell do not exist. No passages depict Satan holding court in a fiery furnace or underworld where judgment takes place. And that's because, according to the Bible, Satan isn't in hell at all. At least, not yet. So where is this guy? Us Christians believe the first place we see Satan is in the garden, right? And we believe that because the writer of Revelation 12 identifies the serpent in Genesis as Satan. But Jewish folks might argue with you a little there, but that's another vid for another day. So anywho, from a Christian perspective, Satan is the serpent in the garden, more crafty than any other beast of the field. So Satan's first appearance is on earth, and God's curse in Genesis 3:14 binds him to the earth, commanding him to eat dust, yo. Later, Satan makes a grand appearance in the book of Job, where he joins the heavenly hosts. In heaven, by the way, not on a Zoom call from hell, for a meeting with Yahweh. And God inquires about Satan's whereabouts, to which Satan responds, just hanging on earth, taking a leisurely stroll, causing some probs. This further emphasizes Satan's presence on earth, not in the fiery underworld. And in the Old Testament, the only other passages referencing Satan is in Zechariah 3:1-3 in a phenomenal vision. The location's unclear, but it shows Satan accusing Joshua the high priest while standing at his right hand. But again, this vision does not provide evidence of a traditional concept of a fiery hell, but Satan is more of a member of the divine council, playing the role of accuser, or prosecutor, so to speak. And you can make an argument Satan is mentioned in Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28, but he's not mentioned directly as Satan. And he is definitely not in a place of fiery flames, being a shot caller, baller, brawler who be dipping in the bins with a spoiler. Got a shout out to my late 90s radio listeners here. In the New Testament, first place we see Satan popping up is on earth, tempting Jesus in the wilderness, Matthew 4, Mark 1, Luke 4. And during Jesus' ministry, Satan is portrayed as actively present on earth and is never referred to as being in hell. Even the demons who Jesus casts out of the man, or men of the Gadarenes, say, "Have you come here to torment us before the time?" Meaning, they aren't in hell either. In fact, all of Jesus' interactions with demonic forces happen on earth. After Jesus' ascension, the New Testament warns of Satan's present dealings with us on earth rather than potential future dealings in hell. We're advised to resist anger and sin to avoid giving Satan an opportunity, and that's Ephesians 4:27, and to put on the full armor of God to stand against his schemes, and that's Ephesians 6. And Paul twice tells Timothy to beware of Satan's traps, 1 Timothy 3 and 2 Timothy 2, while James and Peter tell their churches to resist the devil, James 4 and 1 Peter 5. And Peter describes Satan as a prowling lion, seeking to devour on earth, 1 Peter 5:8. It's pretty clear that the New Testament reveals Satan holds power on earth, and not in a realm called hell. He helps cause evil, temptation, destruction, and death on earth, making hell present on earth in a way, and he operates in a heavenly realm according to Ephesians. But the good news of Jesus disempowers this being so that we may know the love of Jesus upon earth and reveal God's kingdom to others. And Satan's future, as revealed, Revelation is to be cast to a place he's never been, hell, where he will be punished. But Satan will not rule there, nor will he be doling out punishments from a throne, as the place was created to punish Satan and the demons. And that's Matthew 25:41. Not to give them a kingdom to rule, where it's better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. So, where did the idea that Satan is the big kahuna in hell, smelling of sulfur and brimstone, come from? Because it's obviously not biblical. And what does this mean about people's visions and stories of hell throughout the ages and even today? Well, over the next few weeks, I'm going to be discussing this wild topic, and it's pretty wild, where we're going to get away from the sensationalism and get down to the facts about the history of hell in the Christian faith. So I hope you stick around and check it out, because it's going to be very enlightening, especially if you've only heard about hell from an evangelical perspective or from popular media. It's time to leave the conspiracies and the fear behind and get to the truth of not just hell, but of God's love for you and all of creation.